Hi, I'm Sitwat Khan, and this is my Course 5 final project. The journey that my students and I started 5 weeks back has finally come to an end. When I was planning my final project, I had no idea that I would have to start from scratch. In the summers, my family and I moved back to my home country, Pakistan, and there I joined a new school with a new role and a new subject. My new role is to teach individuals and societies to the middle school. The project itself was a big challenge for me, as in my new school, students were taught in traditional style, and use of technology was only limited to the computer lab. There was no trend of devices in the classroom or BYOD culture. In the beginning, I was completely lost, and I thought I would not be able to complete my COTEL course. But I'm thankful to my husband, who has always supported me and never let me lose hopes, and to my sister Zainab and both my daughters, Vajiha and Ishal, for giving me tons of ideas for this. So I started putting the pieces together and finally came up with the plan. My goals for this project were to have a unit on digital citizenship, to use Seesaw to develop digital portfolios, to create a flipped classroom culture using Edpuzzle so classroom time can be used to facilitate learning, to have project-based learning, to do global collaborative project, to create students' blogging culture, to have a Skype or Google Hangout session with an expert. My students were not even aware of terminologies like digital citizenship, digital footprint, etc. So the very first unit I started was Digital Citizenship Unit. This unit continued for 3 weeks, and the computer science teacher, Larabe, and I used after school activity time and some computer science classes for this. We used Common Sense Media, resources, and lesson plan for this unit. Students went through different activities and in the end made technology guideline for the school. As they understood the importance of digital tattoo, they even Googled my name and read my blogs. They understood it for the very first time that a digital footprint or tattoo is permanent and one must be cautious about online activities. We really had some meaningful discussions on this topic.
So, after the digital citizenship unit, I learned how to be more aware and cautious of how I'm using the internet. So, I learned about digital footprints and how to stay aware of a bad one. I learned about Creative Commons signs and and PDFs about which way you can, what you can download and how you can use them if they're public or private. And I also learned about technology guidelines, how to stay safe on the internet.
As I moved to my PBL unit, in which my students were in the role of professional meteorologists, their task was to use technology to develop a weather forecast. These are the following ISTE standards that I've focused on. In order to understand how weather data is collected using different weather instruments and how technology is helpful in this, we visited Meteorological Department in Islamabad. This visit to Meteorological Department helped with boosting the understanding of my students. They could see the real life application of the topic they're studying in class. One of my goals was to start having a flipped classroom so that classroom time can be used to facilitate learning. I used Edpuzzle. Initially, my students were not used to this style of teaching, and some would even forget to watch videos. So, to motivate them, I started giving them stickers if they finished their flip task. This was really helpful, and slowly I could see that students were watching videos again and again until they fully understood the concept. This summer, I became Seesaw ambassador. So I decided to use Seesaw to create digital portfolios. Seesaw is a very powerful app that serves as a platform for blogging, interclass collaboration, sharing information, activities, etc. Seesaw was a real game changer in my class, and my classroom can never be same without it. My students loved to read each other's work and would leave a positive comment on each other's post. They were applying their knowledge from Digital Citizenship Unit and proved themselves as a responsible digital citizens. My students simply loved Seesaw, and some students posted every day. Let's listen to what they say about Seesaw.
Seesaw is a great way to learn and share your ideas with other people, and it makes learning fun and easy. It's good to know what your other classmates think. It's very interesting, and we love it.
I wanted my students to reach up to redefinition level according to SAMR and understand that technology is not just consumed, but they can also produce something for others to consume. In other words, they can be prosumers. One of the first steps towards this was students writing blogs. My students were really happy when they first blogged. They enjoyed writing their own material and liked when other students left comments. To encourage them, I made badges for them, and they were very excited to show off. They even wore them around the school.
Blogging is a great way to express your ideas, and I never thought I'd be blogging, and it was really fun, and I would like to continue using Seesaw.
For global collaboration, I shared my class blog's URL on Seesaw Connected Blogs spreadsheet, thinking that other grade 6 students would read our blogs and would leave some comments. I even used Twitter and Google Plus communities for global collaboration, but it did not work out well as I hoped. The only platform that worked for global collaboration was Skype for Classroom. As I was looking for global collaborators, I came across Microsoft in Education and joined their community. Then I signed up for a Skype session with other schools on climate change. It was indeed amazing to see what other schools are doing. It extended our learning outside the walls of the classroom. And it was a different experience for my students since they've never done an activity like this before.
We used Skype to communicate with other people around the world. Even though it was confusing, it was fun to see how other people use their ideas, as our current unit was about climate change.
The final task of this PBL unit was to make a weather forecast video like a professional meteorologist. We used green screen for this task. This was the very first time that my students worked on a project like this. They had immense learning experience and they applied 21st century learning skills. While doing this project, my students were aware of copyrights, so they either searched Creative Commons images or used Google Images labeled for reuse with modification.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marinusa Faraz Khan, and today I have a few of my frontline meteorologists talking about the weather patterns in different places around the world. The two cities that they will be talking about.
A green screen is a great way to record a video, and you can use different backgrounds. You can get creative with it too.
For example, right now we're making a weather videos, and for the background we'll be using maps for a background. How it is on TV, and if you want to present anything, you can just get creative and do anything for the background. So, and you can also have fun with it too.
So, were my students able to use technology effectively? And did they redefine the tasks? I think they were able to do so. In the end, I'm going to say that this is my final project for Kotao, but this has shown me a path that I'm always going to use in my classroom.
Bye!